really loud too.
It was kind of scary. I was scared.
He was scared. I wasn't.
I was. This is your category.
Yes,
what do we have
best
in here?
metal performance. Got the song "Invisible Enemy" by August Burns Red. "Black Hoodie" by Body Count, which is Ice-T's band.
Okay.
"Forever," Code Orange. "Sultan's Curse," which is a Mastodon. And then lastly, "Clockworks" is from Meshuggah.
It's good to see Ice-T has time in his day when he's not solving sexual assaults to do some metal music.
Yes.
It's good. He's a multi-talented person, really serves our society with all those rapists he's putting away, and then making great metal music. What is I'm sure you've listened to all of these.
I have.
And what is your take on this? Because I acquiesce to your opinion on this.
Well, unfortunately, two of these bands, August Burns Red and Code Orange, I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
They're metalcore bands, and unfortunately, I'm not a metalcore person. Yeah. I've never liked August Burns Red, so I think my thoughts on this are a little skewed.
And what's metalcore to any of our listeners who maybe not into metal and don't know the kind of subgenres a little bit?
It's hard to describe.
But bands like metalcore,
it's very more screamy. I can't even do it. It's bad. Please edit that. But
that's not getting edited out. That's stinging, by the way.
But it's just, I don't know, and I can't say it without just being like, oh, it's just bad. But
metalcore is was that funny band that you had that made the Christmas sweater?
Oh my god, Attila, yeah.
So that's like Attila. So if anybody wants to know what metalcore is, you can look up Attila.
Or you could just look up
or these two bands,
August Burns Red, and then you can compare them to some other thrash bands you could compare them to Meshuggah or any of these other guys that are in the category. But it's just different. I don't know. I think they just play. Sean, if we ever bring him on, Uncle Sean,
Leather Jacket Sean.
Yeah, he could probably explain it a little bit better than I can. He's good at that. He could actually talk about Meshuggah a lot more too. That's his band, so I'd like to get his perspective on it. So I'm not a big fan of those two, and I don't think they are gonna win. But that's just me. When I first listened to Ice-T's Body Count album that just came out, which is this one, I dismissed it at first. I'm like, this is stupid, but I listened to it again, and it's actually pretty good. It's very if you like a lot of Rage, and even if you like Rage Against the Machine, it's really balls to the wall.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and he's talking about social issues, and it's actually really good. And he's got some good Dave Mustaine's on there, Max Cavalera from Sepultura. He's got some heavy hitting guys on there. The drummer from Lamb of God. Oh no, he's not the drummer, but Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. He's got some good guys on this album. But the song that's nominated is called Black Hoodie, and obviously it has to do with Trayvon Martin and all that. That's a good song, actually. It's probably the best one on the album.
Ice-T's always been in touch with the social.
Yeah. So this is actually not a... And like I said, at first I dismissed it. And I was like, this is kind of whatever. And then I listened to it again, and I was like, actually, I kind of dig this.
Much better than the Prophets of Rage, which is...
Yeah, you know what? That's probably what I listened to first. Was Prophets of Rage, and that was garbage.
Yes, which was the Public Enemy guys, some of them. Tom Morello, and some of the guys from Rage Against the Machine, not Zach De La Rocha, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Body Count is actually pretty... Go check it out. It was actually, if you're into that Rage, thrashy, hard, it was really cool. I really like this album. Sultan's Curse from Mastodon. I don't know why that's the song that got nominated. Right now, the single is Show Yourself, which is on the radio, and I think that one should have been nominated. I'm not a big fan of the Sultan's Curse, but... whatever. I wouldn't mind if that one won. And then the last one is Clockworks, which is Meshuggah, and that's just crazy, hard, heavy.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy, Meshuggah, right?
They're pretty crazy, yeah. I mean, I'd love to get Uncle Sean on here to talk about them.
Isn't Leather Jacket Sean, isn't that the show where he got punched in the eye, Meshuggah? Is that the one?
Yeah. He got punched in the eye.
Yep.
It was a crazy pit.
Yeah.
But these guys are cool, and actually I would like to see them win it, because we're talking about a metal category, and if it didn't go, it's probably either going to go to Body Count because of the social
issues. Well, yeah, which is cool.
But I wouldn't mind seeing it go to Meshuggah since they're an awesome metal band. So I would like to see it go to them.
It'd be cool to see Ice-T, who's not associated with metal, really at all until this point.
Yeah.
Is this their first album, this Body Count, or
no?
have they been around?
I think there's another one or so, but this one's.
It would be
good.
cool for him to, a guy that started hip hop, social issues in hip hop, bringing it to metal.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see him when everyone likes Ice-T. I mean, he really seems like a really cool guy. And
and it is. It's a really well done album. Like, I got to admit it. I would check it out if you're into like hardcore. Well, it's hard, and it's hard thrash. And a little bit like Rage Against the Machine. Right. That's what I would sum it all up. It's really good.
Cool.
I'm actually very impressed by it. So, all right. So the next one is Best Rock Song, and this could contain rock, hard rock, and metal songs. So the first one is Atlas Rise, which is Metallica.
Great song. Yeah, I like that one.
Blood in the Cut, which is K-Flay, I think you say it.
Okay.
Go to War by Nothing More.
Okay, they're popular.
Yeah. Run, Foo Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
The Stage, Avenged Sevenfold. Now, I'm already going to go out on a limb here, and I think it should go to Metallica.
I agree, which is funny because they did their song last year on last year's Grammy, but now they're on this year with the songs.
I think what happened was, like, they weren't nominated for the album because it came out,
too
late, but I think the song was released,
right.
Whatever song that was released before the cutoff date, and I forget when the cutoff date is. I don't know if it's like October.
So this kind of happens because I follow the Oscars a little bit because I'm a big movie guy, and this kind of happens in the Oscars where if a movie comes out too early, it kind of suffers in winning the awards. It usually goes to movies that came out like right before the Oscars.
Right.
Does that happen with the Grammys at all? Do you know? Like, since Metallica, this album actually came out kind of long ago now.
Yeah.
Is that going to hurt them in possibly winning?
Well, I doubt it, because it's Metallica. It depends on the artist, to be honest. I mean, I don't even know what it's dependent on, because, like I said, things that I think are going to win
right.
don't, so. Have you heard this Blood in the Cut, though?
I have not.
Kind of like an edgy lime in the coconut.
A lime in the coconut, okay.
Yeah. It's really cool. I mean, check it out. It's really, I don't know. I will. People to check it out.
I'll give it a listen.
It's actually pretty cool.
So you heard it here first, listeners. Check it out. Lime in the coconut.
Let's see what other one. I wouldn't be mad if the Foo Fighters song Run.
See,
but I
was gonna get to that when we got to best album, rock album, but that Foo Fighters album, I
wasn't a fan either.
Nah.
But to be honest, this is the best song
right.
on the album. So if it's going to get nominated, I'm happy it's this one and none of the other ones.
Right.
But yeah, so now we'll go to Best Rock Album.
All right.
So we got Emperor of Sand by Mastodon, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, Metallica, The Stories We Tell Ourselves, Nothing More, Villains, Queen of the Stone Age, and A Deeper Understanding, The War on Drugs. Now, that last one I'm not a fan of, but maybe somebody else is.
Were the Foo Fighters on this as well?
No, the Foo Fighters were not on this. I don't know if they just didn't make it, or just didn't get nominated. I don't think they made it.
Okay.
I forget when that album came out.
Because I was not a big fan of that album, and being a huge Beatles fan.
Oh, yeah, it was like a rip of Paul McCartney.
Yeah, and it was like 1970s Paul McCartney.
Yeah. And
that's not a compliment. I'm not saying that in a good way. If you're a real, true hardcore Beatles fan, mid-70s kind of Paul McCartney was not good.
Yeah. I mean, I love Dave Grohl. I like that he was just randomly, like, there'd be the guy from
Boyz II Men.
Out in the parking lot. He's like, come be on this song with me. And then, like, all these random people are on this album. But, yeah, I'm just not a fan of it either.
No, he definitely is probably the coolest guy in like rock history.
Yeah,
like just in terms of just being a normal guy, the coolest guy, you could talk to him. And I love Foo Fighters, and Wasting Light was such a great album.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
The last one where they did the cities,
it was okay.
It was all right. It was Sound, no, not Sound City. That was when he did with all the other people.
That was great.
But I forget what it's called. But we did the documentary on HBO and everything.
Yeah.
Those were all right.
Yeah.
So I was really looking forward to this one, and it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. I think they were trying some new sound, and good for them for doing that. But yeah, I agree. It just wasn't one of my favorites.
I think Paul McCartney actually might be even on the album.
He is,
actually. I think he plays drums on it or something.
He does something. He's got some really cool like cameos on there.
It's just a shame it didn't turn out to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
So back to the list. So Hardwired to Self-Destruct was a great album. We saw them in concert live to the show.
Mm-hmm. I think this. I think this should win because I just think it's like the best Metallica album since... I mean, not everybody likes Load. I enjoyed Load, but...
Load was pretty good.
Yeah, I would say it's the best album since Load. Definitely since Death Magnetic.
I mean, Death Magnetic was kind of their comeback.
That was their comeback, and that was
the one
good.
before that was, as we all know, Saint Anger.
Saint Anger, so that was a load of poop. And
what's that? Was it too much? What was that, snare drum or whatever it was?
Oh my god!
Whatever he was using there,
Lars. I don't know, trash cans.
Yeah, too much of that stuff. So it was good that they went back to basics with Death Magnetic, and then they seem to have even improved on that with this last one.
Yeah, this album is so good. It's so good. I mean, you can hear all these different songs remind you of like their old albums, or like even stuff of like their current, like, you know, like I always call Metallica. There's like pre-Black Album and after the Black Album, but you get a little bit of both of that. And I'm actually upset that this album didn't get nominated for Album of the Year.
Really? Yeah. So you're pretty strong behind
I'm really upset about it. You know, because first of all, it sold really high numbers, and their
they go number one.
Yeah, they had like this fantastic tour. It's upsetting to me that like Lord was nominated for Album of the Year and then Metallica wasn't. This is like a really, and even though I am a Metallica fan, like I really love them, this was just such a fantastic album. Right. And Metallica fans are usually pretty brutally honest.
Right, that's true. They're one of the hardest to please audiences.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why I'm a little upset that this wasn't even nominated for Album of the Year, because it is the best. But I think this one should win. What do you think?
Well, you know, I listened to that Nothing More. Didn't know anything about them, I'll be honest. I listened to them today, once you sent me the list. Mm-hmm. I was impressed.
Yeah, that was a good album.
The album was long. It's like 18 songs.
It's like 18
some of the songs are like 40 seconds long.
Yeah, they do some interludes, which whatever. But...
And they tried concept album idea thing, it looks like. And
yeah.
It was good. I mean, they remind me like an AFI, which not everybody's kind of into, I can understand. And I'm not really into the punk scene, but it reminded me like an AFI kind of sound, almost mixed with a little bit of Depeche Mode-ish sound, which I love because I'm a huge Depeche Mode fan, but kind of later Depeche Mode, you know, not new wave 80s when they were trying to kind of sound like all the other ones when they kind of got individual and started doing songs like, you know, Personal Jesus and all that. Kind of sounded like that, but his voice is not as annoying as Davey Havoc is his name from AFI. But so his voice, because I can understand people don't get into that guy's voice. Even his, you know, sometimes I like a lot of their songs, but even his voice kind of gets to me. So he's Nothing More, guys. I was actually pretty impressed.
Yeah, it was a good surprise album, because I listened to it and I was like, well, this is really good. I wouldn't be upset because it'd be cool to see a newcomer win it, but yeah, I still think Metallica should win. I
was looking at Spotify, and it looks like they've been around since about 2009. There's Nothing More. That was their first album. So they've been around for a while, but you know, sometimes these bands takes a while for your name to
develop,
The album that interests me is the Villains album from Queens of the Stone Age. So Queens of the Stone Age band's been around since, oh my god, the 90s. I mean, they've been around forever. Again, they were kind of a band that didn't come till a little bit later, but they changed their sound all the time, and this time they decided to go with Mick Ronson as their producer, who, if you know Mick Ronson at all, if you're into that kind of stuff behind the scenes, he was the guy who did Amy Winehouse. He was Amy Winehouse's producer.
Right.
Before she passed away. But he's the one that really got her famous. The one that kind of almost kept her in control a little bit, as much as you could keep her in control. And he's also the one that did the comeback album we talked about earlier of Duran Duran.
Oh, did he really?
He's the one that produced that. So he's got...
Is it Mark Ronson or Mick?
Mark Ronson. Yeah. I'm sorry. I said Mick Ronson, didn't I?
He did the last Lady Gaga album
right,
too,
right.
Which was
Mick Ronson
really
is
good.
The guy from Foreigner.
Yeah.
Mark Ronson is the producer. I apologize.
Related. I think he is somehow related.
I'm not sure.
I think he is.
I
think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is somehow
I think he's
related.
like... But I don't think it's like a... I think it's like an adoption relation, kind of. Like a step thing, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, I always make that mistake, Mark. I meant Mark Ronson, the producer. Yeah. So he produced Lady Gaga. He's done Duran Duran, the comeback album, and he did Amy Winehouse. So for him to do a rock band, and he's, you know, Duran Duran's a rock band, but they're pop.
Yeah, they're pop.
So for him to do kind of what was a straight-on rock band like Queens of the Stone Age was interesting. He brought that pop kind of funk that's popular right now. He brought that to the Queens of Stone Age, if you listen to the first album, it's the first song on the album, it's very